All right, guys, this is Jordan Nielsen. We are on the Real Estate Pro Show, and today we have a special guest. We have Brian Cunningham with...
I'm right now with Gentry Real Estate Group, and We Buy Ugly Houses.
Awesome. So We Buy Ugly Houses. So is that where you're... So on this show, we're going to be talking about buying, renovating, and listing homes, which is pretty much your specialty.
That's all I do.
So buying... So you work with We Buy Ugly Homes. So does that help you at all in buying houses, or how does that work?
That's my biggest lead source. So the hardest thing for a real estate investor to do is to buy the house at the right price. Homevestors is my marketing arm. They help me, or We Buy Ugly Houses, Homevestors, one and the same. They help me reach out to those sellers who want to sell, and they connect the two of us. And so I'm able to go into their house, negotiate a deal, and say, hey, I'll pay you X, and we are off to the races.
So it's more of a direct-to-consumer model. So
Yeah.
We Buy Ugly Houses markets to the person, and then you schedule a meeting or however.
Exactly. So it's funny. So I got my normal phone, and then I got my marketing
your
phone.
ugly phone.
I call it my money phone.
Oh, that's why it's green. I like
Yeah,
it.
100%. So yeah, as soon as someone sees a billboard, gets a letter, or receives any piece of our marketing, they call that phone number, and they get connected directly to one of the franchisees. And I'm one of the 20 here in Phoenix.
Nice. So, you're kind of known in the Valley for doing your fix and flips. I've seen some of your projects on Facebook and whatnot.
Appreciate that.
What % of those are coming through We Buy Ugly Homes in that franchise you have?
50 to 60%. It depends on the month. So like this month, I would say 70% of my acquisitions are coming through Homevestors. Last month, it was flip-flop. But general rule last year, I think it was about 65% came from Homevestors directly. And those are my best buys, and they're also my ugliest buys.
Yeah. Hey, they buy ugly houses, right?
Yeah.
So you started in real estate in what year?
2009.
Oh, okay. So 2009. So that was kind of a little bit past. I think short sales were pretty common there. Were you ever involved in buying houses at the court or in foreclosures and stuff like that? Or were you after that piece?
I started with Keller Williams for an REO agent, and I quickly got recruited to do some property management and acquisitions for a big investment firm. And so I've been in investment real estate since 2010, and I cut my teeth on the auction block, right? So I was working with Spencer Caldwell over at Buy Low AZ. Go Spencer. Spencer and Jacob helping us acquire at the courthouse steps. And for a long time here in Arizona, that worked. That was a model that was helpful for real estate investors. But these big hedge funds, this New York money came into the Phoenix market and started buying everything.
Hey, that's where I come in. In 2013, we were buying. That's kind of where I stepped out of corporate America. I was a branch manager at Wells Fargo. I was their agent before that, doing little things, but we were buying for Invitation Homes.
Yeah,
we bought 300 or 400 properties in 2013 for them. So
that was the heyday, right?
Yeah. Oh man, those were the days.
Making money hand over fist. Contractors were loving it. But for real estate investors, mom and pop real estate investors, it made it hard. It made it hard to buy the auction. And so my business partner, he read this book. It's called Who Moved My Cheese, right? It's about this mouse who always gets fed by the owner. They bring cheese, and then one day the owner moves out. Or actually, there's two mice, excuse me. The owner moves out, and they stop receiving that easy instant gratification food, or for me, what was easy, hop on the auction list, look at it, and I could buy any house I wanted. At one point, there was 1,300 houses like a day that were going to the auction. It was like shooting fish in a barrel. But once things slowed up, we had to say, well, where do I go now to find deals? That initially took us to Texas, right? And so we were working the auction block there. I was literally standing at the auction block. Yeah, I'll take this one. Go 100.
In Texas?
Yeah.
And you were still living there, so did you move to Texas for this?
No, I almost did. So my wife and I were going to move to San Antonio, but we ended up making it work to where we would fly to Texas once a month and buy a house at the auction. And we built, for my business partner, a pretty hefty rental portfolio, and we started flipping homes in Texas. And Texas dried up. Same thing. These darn real estate investment trusts would come in with their New York money and buy a lot of houses. And that's where we found Homevestors. That's where we found We Buy Ugly Houses. They originated in Texas, and and we saw their signs. They're, what they're famous for, the big caveman.
There you go. You're wearing
UGG.
your UGG shirt.
Yeah, we saw
They
one
got
of
the
their
branding
signs.
out there, so
Yeah.
they've been around for a long time, actually.
Yeah. So that's where it all started. So October 2014, we started our franchise, and we've been off to the races.
Sweet, man.
Yeah.
All right, so that's awesome, man. So congratulations on your
Appreciate it.
success on buying and having that franchise with We Buy Ugly Houses. So now let's talk a little bit more about the renovation process. So you acquire a property, how do you make money on the flip and renovating, or how does that process work? How do you know if a property is good to buy or not? I'm sure you go to other listing appointments that you don't necessarily buy the property.
Yep.
Maybe they want too much for the house and for what you're going to have to put in and actually make money on it.
Yeah, it's hard. I would say about a third of the homeowners that I visit with, I'm actually able to make the numbers work for both of us, right? I can't steamroll them and, pressure sell them. It doesn't work that way. But about a third of the time buying a house, the rest of the time they choose another model to sell their home, whether that's a direct purchaser like myself, or whether that's listing or doing it for sell by owner, right? So how do I decide is the question, whether it's a good deal? I've been doing this for a while, and so we kind of have a system and a process and a formula that works for us, right? For our partnership, for our cost of capital. And basically at the end of the day, it's, if it makes dollars, it makes sense. And if it doesn't make money, then, we can't move forward. But that's ultimately comes down to, can I make my desired net profit? If not, I can't move forward.
Awesome. And I know there's a lot of, on the same type of thing, there's the funding side of it as well. And I know previously there used to be a lot of like hard money lenders and stuff like that. Is that model still in play?
Yeah.
Is that how you use to fund these things? Because a lot of people can't just pull out $100,000 out of their pocket or $200,000 to buy a property and put all the money into the renovation and flip it. How are people? So if somebody out there is watching this and they want to get into this model, how do they finance it?
There's a ton of ways to get into real estate. Right now, I'd say it's almost easier than any time ever before if you want to get into real estate investing to get in, right? So there is the hard money lending model, which is you find a property and you bought it at a deep enough discount for someone to want to lend to you. And there's, I don't know, 200 lenders here in Phoenix. Everybody wants to lend real estate investors money because right now it's hard to lose money on a flip because the market just keeps ascending. So there's the hard money lender model. There's the cash model, which, like you said, not everybody was born with a golden spoon in their mouth, right? You can't just assume that everybody has a couple $100,000 to go dump into a house. And then there's a partnership model, which I've seen a lot of times where young real estate entrepreneurs will go out and hustle, will find a deal, and then will come to, I would say, a more seasoned veteran flipper and say, hey, I found this deal. Will you partner with me? And that's how they get in and kind of cut their teeth on their first flip. So there's those three models. If you have a house you want to try and flip, if you think it's a good deal, the easiest part is getting the money. The hardest part is finding the deal. So I'd say if you have questions about getting deals funded, call me. That's part of our business model. My business partner, aside from me, I'm not involved in that, does lend money to flippers to help them facilitate that transaction.
Awesome. And we know that real estate investing, it can be lucrative. It can also be a tough thing if you purchase the wrong house and it's like the Money Pit movie, it just falls apart. Have you been involved in a real estate deal that you want to? Because I don't want to make it look like, oh, this is so easy and you're going to make all this money every single time. Has there been a time where you bought a house and you're like, wow, I lost my pants on this one?
Yeah, so that's the thing I tell anybody who asks me about real estate investing. I like to paint a pretty bleak picture because everybody knows, I can make a ton of money investing in real estate, but they haven't seen the opposite, right? I would like to come to you today and say I've never lost money on a flip. Unfortunately, that's not true. So in our adventures from Phoenix to Texas, we went to San Antonio, and that's where we established a pretty good foothold. When things dried up in San Antonio, we went to Houston. Ugh, I will never, ever buy another house in Houston. So I think we bought 15 properties in Houston, and 2 of them were money pits. 2 of them we got in way over our head. Our realtor didn't know what was going on and didn't advise us as to where to buy the property at and what the future potential value was. And we lost a ton of money.
But actually, that's not terrible. But that also tells us, if you're not that familiar with the market. So you've how long have you been here in the Valley?
I've only been here since '06.
Okay, since '06. So you've been here a little over 10 years, but you become familiar with the different areas. And maybe if you're venturing off into another state, there's some dynamics that are a little more challenging when you're looking to fix and flip a house.
So you bring up a good point. Everybody who asks me about fixing and flipping. So I paint that picture of you could lose money, so be patient, right? Don't rush into a deal because, I got to make money now. Be patient. And the second thing is pick a market, pick a niche, pick something where it's close to home, it's somewhere you're familiar with. Don't try and start. If you're an East Valley person, don't try and start in the West Valley. If you're a West Valley person, vice versa, don't start in the East Valley. Start with a market and a neighborhood you're familiar with, close to home. You can check on it. I would start close and then expand, because that expansion, if you're not careful and you're too cocky, that's where I got hurt.
Awesome. Well, yeah. So in real estate investing, that's the game. You just you're not going to make 10 grand or more like that on every single deal, but you don't want to go the negative route. So awesome, man. So we talked about how you buy your properties, where you source them, a little bit about your flipping. Now let's talk a little bit more about listing homes.
Okay.
So what's your strategy around listing homes? How are you selling homes faster than the average agent? We know there's a lot of competition out there. It seems like there's a ton of agents getting in the market. It feels a lot like 05, 06, whenever it's getting all hot, and then a lot of people back out or they don't make it in this business. So what sets you apart, Brian, as a listing agent? How do you market your homes differently to get your home sellers a different result than the average agent?
Shameless pitch. Lister Pros.
Shameless.
Yes. No. Go Lister Pros. No, seriously, you guys have made a difference in our business. You guys have made a difference in when the consumer stopped using and trusting just the realtor to go show them homes, and they've been now focusing on internet marketing, on Zillow, on Trulia, on Realtor.com, on the hundreds of other websites that market real estate. I have to pop online, and you guys do that for me. So that's one thing. And then I am spoiled in a way. So I'm not, the Brett Tanners of the world or these big mega agents. I insulate myself by owning property, right? That's how I generate and source my leads. And so I'm kind of self-sufficient in a way. So I can't speak to the brand new agent who's out knocking doors or who's farming, trying to get leads. But the things that I do differently is I price a property to sell. My least favorite, and I think the least effective strategy in real estate marketing, is pricing property too high. Yeah, it doesn't make sense for anybody.
I would agree. Like we can do the best marketing. We can do 3D floor plan video, the awesomest pictures, but if the price is too high, it's still not going to sell. So that's the number one variable when listing a house, in my opinion. So
and it hurts too for me, right? Because I've contracted properties higher than list price or at list price, and they didn't appraise. That hurts my expectation. That hurts my bottom line, right? And so I look at it as an appraiser would. Every listing I take, I am very, very diligent and intent about listing a property for what I think it's worth, what I think a bank will lend on it, what I think an appraisal will appraise it for, and what I think someone will write a check or get a loan for. So I think a pricing strategy for each house specifically is important. The ugly ones that you don't do too much to, I try and price in the low to median end of the price point in that neighborhood. And then the ones that I've dolled up and made cute, I'm going to go from the median to the higher point and try and push that high mark. But I'm not going 10, 20, 30, 40 grand over, the most recent sale.
Sure. All right. So awesome. So sounds like listing up, your business drives it's kind of self-sufficient is what you're saying. So let's talk a little bit about one listing in particular, I know you
Oh.
that caught my eye over this last week. Ever so often, I'll scroll through the Lister Pros photos and I'll be like, man, that's a nice house. And one of those
Can
listings.
you pull it up on the screen so these guys can see
Yeah,
it?
yeah, yeah. Let me take a look here. See if I don't mess this up. But
I'm gonna swing around. I want to see your screen so I can talk to this, because actually, this one's on the market and it's one that I enjoy showing.
All right, hold on 1 second. There's the image. All right, here we go. So now everybody's just looking at this slideshow of this property. So man, this house is very impressive. Talk to us a little bit about this house.
Yeah, so this is, if you don't mind, this is 20078 East Pecan Lane. This is actually my business partner's house. So funny story. I think we acquired this house 4 years ago, and this was a flip. We had bought it at the auction, and we walked in, we got in, we drilled the locks, broke in, and after we had won the bid, and oh man, look at that outside. That's gorgeous.
Beautiful.
We had won the bid, and we walked in, and my business partner goes, dude, this thing's a piece of crap. And I said, no, look at all the potential. Look what this could be. This thing's gorgeous. It's not like anything else in Arizona. And he goes, I don't see the vision in it. I don't know what you guys are thinking. You're crazy. So we go in, and we start to get bids and start the remodel process. And I tell him, I said, Gus, you need to bring your wife over here. You need to talk to her. I think this could be your next house. It wasn't on the radar to move. He brings her over. She says the same thing. This thing's a piece of crap. I don't want this house. And I'm laughing. So we put money in as if we're going to flip the house. I take the marketing photos. I get it ready to sell. We bring Lacey back, and both of them fall in love. And so we took the sign back out of the yard. We had the sign up. We had listing photos. We canceled the listing, and this became their home for the last 4 years. So this house, I don't know if we can dive in and stop some of these, but I can kind of talk to it. We have a brand new pool out back. They redid everything from the flooring to the kitchen.
Or you can just talk about it. It's just going to roll through the pictures,
Okay.
but we'll let them roll
the
through a
master
little bit.
bath is like the pool and the master bath are like my favorite. The master bathroom is like out of a magazine. It's incredible. Let's see. I'm trying to sell the house on the show today. Can you tell?
Let's sell this. Man, this house. So where's this home located at?
So this is just outside of the Pecans. That's one of the, I would say, the premier neighborhoods in the Southeast Valley. It's just outside on the original Pecan Lane. It's in a pecan orchard. It is gorgeous. Oh, look at this. Okay, so everything in that bathroom is custom, and I love it. It's out of a magazine. It's his and her sinks. It's the freestanding tub. It's the 0 grade entry shower, and then that actually the wall material on that is one slab of marble connected. The veins line up. It's gorgeous. Yeah, you have to see it to believe it.
Beautiful house. All right.
Hey, what happened there? I look fatter on there than I do in person. What's going on, Jordan? Can't you Photoshop this?
Oh man, it's a little hard to do that on the live. And we'll go back to our angle here.
Let's get a better angle.
All right, back to Farai over there. Oh my, no.
Lost connection.
I think we still have audio, though, I believe. All right, there we go. Let's transition. All right, so we're back live. So awesome, man. Well, we appreciate you coming in and spending some time with us today, Brian, and talking to us a little about, buying homes, renovating, and flipping and listing homes, and how that process works, and if people want to get a hold of you, how do they get a hold of you?
I'm pretty easy to get a hold of. I think all my contact info, my phone number, my email is on all of my social media accounts. I'm Brian Cunningham on Facebook. I think I'm BC_Ham on Instagram. I'm happy to help anybody who wants to ask questions about renovating houses, buying and fixing up houses. Sometimes I do wholesale the houses that I don't have time, money, or energy to fix and flip. And the other thing I'll put in a shameless plug for, we just started this last year, a cabinet company. I know that I'd talked to you about helping us with some of the marketing. We started a cabinet company. It's called Madera Interior Solutions for flippers. my biggest pain as a flipper and what held me back from flipping houses was the cost of redoing a kitchen. So I was only doing the carpet and paint rehabs, and now I'm able to renovate and do a little bit bigger projects because I've saved myself money, and we're passing that savings along to all our flipper partners. And so if anybody wants to talk to me about listing their house, buying and selling real estate as an investment, or cabinets, I'm open to that discussion. Give me a call. I'm here.
Awesome, man.
Yep.
Well, we appreciate you being on Real Estate Pros, and maybe we'll have you on in the future. And it was fun.
Yeah, thank you, Jordan. Appreciate the opportunity.
Thanks for coming.